Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Om. Blessed Self Adorations, आप सबको अभिनंदन है, प्रेम भरा आशीर्वाद, heartfelt blessings to each one of you and your near and dear ones. May you all prosper. May you never slip from the path of spirituality. May there be expansion of spirituality, divine energy, deep devotion, leading to liberation. May you all realize the self and follow the path of integral yoga, karma yoga, ज्ञान योग, भक्ति योग, ध्यान योग. योग तभी होता है जब आप भगवान से, परमात्मा से, प्रभु से जुड़ के जो भी कार्य करते हो उनको याद करके, उनको समर्पण करके करते हो. अपने लिए नहीं, सिर्फ अपने लिए नहीं, सब के लिए और प्रभु से जुड़ के. So self realization and yoga. When you say yoga, it came from the word yuj. Yoga means uniting. So karma yoga, when you do any action, any selfless action with surrender to God, it becomes yoga. That means you are doing that not only for yourself but for the Lord. In same way, jnana yoga, when you think of God, surrender to God, and then attend satsanga, listen to satsanga, that becomes yoga. You are learning, but you are learning whatever God is giving you, and it will never go away. With surrender to God, everything done becomes yoga. Our humble Sashtang pranams at the holy lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Shri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida. Param Gurudev, Pujya Shri Swami Sivananda Ji Maharaj of Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, India. Jagat Guru, the world teacher, Pujya Shri Adi Shankaracharya Ji, who brought us, who made this Sanatan Dharma alive, how beautiful, where there is no restriction of what name you take to pray, and no matter what, there is one God. You, your Atman and Paramatman are saying, you just have to kindle that spark that is within you and unite it with Paramatman, the Supreme Self, yourself, connecting to the Supreme Self. Advait, non-duality philosophy. Today is day 22 of our satsanga on the 4 gatekeepers at the Palace of Liberation. And out of the 4, we are on the 4th one. And out of the 4, we completed the 3 Do you remember the 3 of them that we have completed? Shama, serenity; Vichar, spiritual inquiry; Santosh, contentment; Satsanga, good association. And we are on the conclusion of that today. The interrelation of the 4 gatekeepers. And that is the conclusion today. Satsanga, a little bit of a recap on Satsanga, is that Satsanga is the most potent remedy for all troubles that assail human beings. Poverty, disease, calamities, and death, all these invade the mind. When you nourish it, however, with the nectar of Satsanga, when the mind has envisioned the eternity of the self, then sorrow disappears. The sorrowful world becomes a dream. Calamities become like clouds that cannot hurt the sky. Starting now, vow to take this potent remedy of Satsanga every day and discover how its miraculous healings, powers can change your life forever. Because this gives you so much patience, so much contentment of Satsanga, brings in so much bliss that the sorrows around you, the pain around you becomes less. You do not feel that much pain. And when there is pain, when you see the pain in the world, you feel it momentarily. However, Lord gives you that nectarine bliss from within that takes away the pain, as well as supports you, gives you courage to pray, to surrender to the Lord and pray for everyone. So let us do that whenever we feel pain of the physical body, or pain of your loved one, near and dear ones, or the pain of all others in the world. We feel it because we are one at soul level. You might not know where or who is feeling the pain, or who is going through some hardship, but you will still feel it from within. Right away, you chant mantras and send it out in the universe so it can reach those who are having some sort of hardship or some sort of pain. May everyone be healed, and may everyone receive this unconditional love, bliss and peace from within. So the interrelation of the 4 gatekeepers, Yog Vashishta, if I have ever told you, this is called Maharamayana, and Yog Vashishta is that portion of the Ramayana. You will not find it in Valmiki Ramayana or Tulsi Ramayana, just like Srimad Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata, but it is separate. It has been separated because it is the essence of teachings of our Lord in there. So same way in Maharamayana or Yog Vashishta, because Vashishta Muniji is the Guru here and Lord Rama is the Shishya. So it is the dialogue between Lord Rama and his Guru Vasishtha Muniji, where Lord Rama is asking questions and Vasishtha Muniji is answering, and it is for us. So if some of you did not know about it, that's what it is about. And here Yoga Vasishtha gives insight into 4 important qualities, figuratively describing them as gatekeepers at the palace of liberation. First one, Shama, which is serenity. Second one, Santosh, which is contentment. Third one is, it can be in any order. So third one is Satsanga, good association, and Vichar, inquiry. Fourth one, if you are to enter that palace, you have to make friends with the gatekeepers. Like so many places, they are gatekeepers. They don't let you in until you show them the pass. Like when we go to the work, in the physical building, there are security guards. And unless you show them your ID, they would not let you in. So same way, these 4 are the gatekeepers. That means, do you qualify to go into that palace of liberation? So if you are to enter that palace, you have to make friends with the gatekeepers. However, you need not to worry about befriending all these gatekeepers at the same time, for the 4 are profoundly interrelated. So this is the beauty of it. You enter into one of them, you start deeply following one of them, and the other 3 will automatically become your friends. Means they will come to you automatically without conditions. So these gatekeepers will allow you to enter that palace of liberation. So if you were to make friends with only one of the 4, the other 3 would join in automatically. For example, if you were to develop serenity, you would discover so much joy within yourself that you would not be comparing yourself with others. You would have profound contentment. Automatically, you have a profound contentment. And you would deeply understand that every moment God has made available to you all that you need for your evolution. You need only to perform your self-effort with a sense of inner relaxation, freedom, and spontaneity. If you have serenity and contentment, you do not seek evil or meaningless associations. You are drawn to qualitative people, and qualitative people are drawn to you automatically through association, and that becomes satsanga, because you talk about good things, talk about scriptures. So through association with the wise, you hammer upon your mind the illusoriness of the world and of the ego itself. You are hammering it down. So you realize that you are not just a helpless individual living at a certain time in a certain place with a certain story. Your intellect becomes so clear that you long to understand the deeper mysteries of existence. Using your purified intellect like a lamp, you delve deep within yourself, searching for the very source of your being, and discover, I am Brahman, the divine self. Soham. So the importance of self-effort is the next topic. The practice of any of these 4 virtues does, however, require repeated self-effort. Just like we have discussed in other satsangas, that in case you slip, in case you fall down, don't just keep lying there and say, who pushed me or what happened. First thing, your duty is to get up. If you want to investigate later, do it. But first thing is that you get up. Or if you can't do it yourself, ask for help to be pulled up and back to normal so you can walk again. So if you slip one of those days when you were unable to do sadhana, not because of laziness, but because of some event, some reason, it's okay. As soon as you are done with that, dealing with that issue, you get back to your routine. That's what it means. If you slip back, you start again. Don't just say, oh, I slipped so I cannot start again. I'll tell you a story here. So one of the sadhakas, one of the aspirants, went and met his guru, and the guru asked, so how is your sadhana going? Then he says, Swamiji, I was doing very good. Every day I did my mala, my japa, just like you told me. And for a bit of time, I've stopped doing it. And then the guru said, oh, why? What happened? And then he said, because my mala broke. And therefore cannot do my japa. So this is what is an excuse. For sure, yes, the mala may have broke, but is there an excuse to not do your sadhana or your japa? No, because you can buy another mala. If not, you can do another way of counting. You can use your fingers. And of all, if you have been doing your japa for a long time, you would qualify for mental japa. And if you cannot count, it does not matter. To begin with, the Guru says do 10 mala a day. Maybe 5 in the morning, maybe 5 in the evening if you can't do it in one sitting. That's okay. Do few mala at a time. The main reason is for mental purity and also for your ability to memorize the mantra and your ability to teach your mind to be chanting and chanting and chanting. So you prepare yourself, you qualify yourself to be able to do mental japa. But still you sit down for at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, do some mala with your mala, japa mala, and then whole day you do mental sadhana, mental japa, while even doing your duty or your job or cooking or doing some washing clothes or washing dishes, any other chores that you are doing. As soon as you realize or remember about japa, start doing your mental japa with every breath. That's your count. You don't have to count, but you are breathing and you are doing your japa. How beautiful could that be? So this is what it is. If you slip, don't have an excuse to say, this is why I stopped doing such and such thing, because. So be strong. So it says here, your repeated effort. Even if you slip, put in your effort again. Slip again, put in your effort again. So use your intellect and will power to promote the virtue day by day. It will not unfold overnight. You have to keep practicing. A flower does not blossom all of a sudden, moment by moment, the bud is slowly transformed from one stage to a more advanced stage of flowering. Even you notice that the bud, every day it matures a little bit. And the day it is blooming, it slowly unfolds like one petal at a time. It just doesn't go like start full bloom in one day. No, slowly. So same way, the bud within our hearts, it slowly blooms as you mature, as you practice and mature. And with your deep devotion, petal by petal, it will open slowly. In same way, your chakras open up, the knots untie, and the divine energy is released within. So similarly, every moment gradually lead yourself to more serenity, more contentment, more hunger for good association, and more inquiry into the truth of your existence. For example, suppose you have vowed to promote more serenity in your personality. Your mind may cooperate with you one day, feeling fascinated by the glory of inner peace and equanimity. So just like some people get angry very quickly, then all one has to do is take a vow and introspect. Say, today you got angry 5 times. Then you take a vow again. And it will remind you when you get angry next time. And then another day, in another week, you look back and say, oh, I didn't get too much angry. I got like 4 times, 3 times, 2 times. And slowly, your anger will go away. You'll be serene. So, however, it may rebel, it may not work with you to begin with. The next day, you might sometimes get more angry, but you have to tame yourself down and tell yourself, remind the promise to your mind again. Complaining that mental peace is boring. You can't complain that. You have to teach your mind, train your mind. So when your mind is not cooperating, recall again and again the joy of serenity. Do not let the mind overpower you by its whims. Do not let the mind swing to extremes of elation or depression due to pleasure and pain, prosperity and adversity, but control it. So there is so much sickness nowadays going on, some mental illness, depression, many types of mental health issues. And this is because somehow some sort of hardship came along, or some sort of injury came along, something that a big shock came along to that person. So it becomes very difficult for them to get out of that. But some are strong and they are able to. Some are strong to take help from others, but some are not. They think they can do it alone. They don't ask for treatment, but slowly, they may ask for help, or within themselves, within their strength, the strength from within might sprout. So again, surrender. Over here, it is all about surrender. So if you find yourself drawn to restless and distracted associations, advise the mind again and again that there is so much joy to gain in satsanga and so much to lose by bad association. The most precious time of life is wasted when trying to compete with distracted people. You talk endlessly about things that have no meaning, happiness that makes your mind restless is not real joy. It is in a serene state of mind that the bliss of the self unfolds. This temporary happiness, it's temporary and it passes away. But that bliss that comes from within, due to meditation, due to your selfless service, due to your japa, due to your connection with the Lord, all these are not temporary. This leads to eternal bliss, the real joy. So it is in a serene state of mind that the bliss of the self unfolds. This happiness is indescribable. It has no limits. So this is where when we say there are so many mental health issues, yes, there are different levels of mental health. Some are strong, some are serene, some are we all human beings have different levels of ability. And again, mind. Do you know where the mind exists? No one knows where the mind exists. The brain is not the mind. The brain is just the medium. But it works through all your senses. And it works through your mind. So mind uses the brain. Through the brain it works into the senses. Trickles down. So we have to pray and tap into the mind. And above the mind is the intuition. And then first comes intellect and then comes intuition. So the intellect has to tell the brain, or intellect has to tell the mind has to tell the brain, and the brain has to tell the senses what is good and what is bad. And then intellect is associated with intuition. When one gets to intuitive level, it's really high. Then from there you can connect with the Supreme Consciousness. So Vasishtha says one should not leave any stone unturned in developing these qualities. No one can attain enlightenment without promoting them, whether one is born in a highly cultured and prosperous family, a saintly family, or even in the heavenly world as a god. No one will attain enlightenment without self-effort. So this is a lesson for each one of us. We have to do self-effort. Nowadays everything is available on the tip of fingers because of technology. So there should be no excuse. You can do your satsanga from home. And because of COVID-19, we stay home. Less outside activities gives us more time. So the choice is yours. Let us all take our own vows. After knowing all these, what do you want to do? Each one of you It is your choice. The mental process flows in two directions. One is led by Ashubh vasanas, that means negative impressions, and another is led by Shubha vasanas, which means positive impressions. When the mind is led by positive impressions, it flows on and on to the ocean of eternity, to all the serene joys of life. But when the mind is led by negative impressions, it flows into the desert of the world's miseries and it dries up. So exercise your intellect. Your effort should always be to stop the flow of the mind to the negative. And that is why saints and sages tell or advise everyone to continue to do japa, because that will take you to the positive side, to the Shubha vasanas, the positive impressions. It will not give the mind any opportunity to think about any negativities or do any negative actions. The mind, when it is empty, it is a devil's workshop. You have heard of that. So when you do japa, your mind is not empty. So exercise your intellect. Your effort should always be to stop the flow of the mind to the negative and encourage it to flow to the positive. Lifting the mind, urging it to move to higher levels and stopping its flow to lower levels is true sadhana. So that is why you do japa, you do meditation, you do selfless service, you attend satsanga, so that your mind takes you upwards to the upper higher levels, positive levels. So that is the message of the four gatekeepers. May all four transport you to the palace of liberation. This is the blessing of my Guru and my blessings to each one of you. Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. May these four gatekeepers become your friends and enable you to put in your self-effort, which will give expansion of divine energy, expansion of deep devotion, and speedily leading you to the palace of liberation. Mukti, self-realization, these are all synonyms. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thus ends the four gatekeepers to the palace of liberation. And the choice is now yours. Our humble Sashtang pranams at the holy lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev. Thank you, Gurudev. Shukrana, Shukrana, Shukrana. We humbly bow down to you. Our humble Sashtang pranams, because of you, your self-effort, we are able to study all these scriptures and also to put it in English for all those who may not be able to understand Hindi any better. English they understand so well. Thank you so much, Gurudev. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So once again, blessings to each one of you and your near and dear ones. May these four gatekeepers transport you to the palace of liberation, and may they easily become your friends. Let us pray for each and every being who may not be knowing about these four gatekeepers, who may not be knowing God, may these blessings be extended out into the universe, so it touches someone somewhere and they become spiritual and walk on this path. Sarvesham swastirabhavatu, sarvesham shantirbhavatu, sarvesham purnam bhavatu, sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushti vardhanam urvarukamiv bandhanan mrityor mokshiye mamritat. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Prantakleshanashaye Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. O Lord, lead us from unreal to real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from death to immortality, to the palace of liberation. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om. That Brahman is full, infinite. This, the world process, is full, infinite. From that fullness of Brahman to this fullness of the world process has proceeded. When this fullness is taken away, what remains is full. Full the Brahman. The implied meaning is that the infinite Brahman manifests all there is and yet remains transcendent and unaffected. Every individual is essentially one with that infinite, immortal, absolute self. Harihi Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. This is Swami Lalita Priyananda, Sacramento, California. Narayan, Narayan, Bhajamana Narayan. Narayan, Narayan, Bhajamana Narayan. Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva 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 Shivaya Namo, Hara 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 Haraya Namo. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.